Hello and welcome back. You are listening to Unreliable Sources, your bi-weekly briefing for mystery lovers, thriller junkies, and suspense addicts. I'm Mike Donohue, thriller author and red herring enthusiast. Let's get into it. On today's show, we're diving into the Tournament of Books shortlist, the slow death of mass market paperbacks. We'll explore why certain books suddenly explode into blockbusters overnight, check out some fresh new releases worth your attention, and since the holidays are bearing down on us, I'm sharing my guide to gifting books to the mystery and thriller lovers in your life. Plus, as always, I'll let you in on what I've been reading and watching lately. Let's roll. Let's kick things off with some recent headlines from the Book and Crime Beat. The 2026 shortlist has been announced for the Tournament of Books, and this is honestly one of my favorite sort of fake book awards out there. What I love about it is that the field is always diverse, the judges take risks, and they don't turn up the noses at genre fiction. Previous winners include Oyukin Braithwaite's My Sister the Serial Killer, which tells you everything you need to know about their eclectic taste. This year's field includes Stephen Graham Jones' The Buffalo Hunter, alongside some intriguing genre-adjacent picks, like The Passenger Seat. I always find at least one book on their list that I completely missed or had forgotten about, so it's definitely worth checking out. Links for all the stories, as always, in the show notes. Publishers Weekly just posted a sobering piece about the decline of mass-market paperbacks, those small, affordable editions that used to fill spinner racks at grocery stores and airports. They're not completely dead yet, but publishers are cutting way back. For genre readers, this is particularly rough. Mass markets were how many of us discovered crime fiction, grabbing a cheap paperback on impulse because the cover looked cool or the blurb promised twists. The economics just don't work anymore, apparently. Higher production costs, lower margins, and changing retail landscapes. The New York Times recently featured Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. If you haven't heard of this book before, you likely will soon. This is a lit RPG novel, that's literary role-playing game for the uninitiated, that started as a self-published audiobook and has become a massive word-of-mouth bestseller. We're talking millions of copies sold. It's not crime fiction, obviously, but the story of how certain books catch fire is absolutely something the genre can relate to. Speaking of which, The Guardian also has a piece exploring exactly this question. Why some books suddenly seemingly explode out of nowhere. The answer, unsurprisingly, is complicated. There's timing, luck, the right influencer attention, algorithmic magic, genuine quality, and that indefinable something that makes people need to tell their friends about a book. For authors, it's both inspiring and terrifying. You can do everything right and still not catch that wave. But when it happens, it's lightning in a bottle. Or so I hear. On the adaptation front, there's a new Agatha Christie film adaptation in the works from the director of The End of the Effing World. No word yet on which Christie novel they're tackling, but given that director's track record with dark, character-driven storytelling, this could be interesting. We'll see if they can bring something fresh to the Queen of Crime's work. Stay tuned for more info. Finally, on a sadder note, Sophie Kinsella has passed away. While not a crime writer, she was a publishing force. Her Shopaholic series and standalone novels brought joy to millions of readers. Her real name was Madeline Wickham, and she'd been battling a glioblastoma. It's a sobering reminder that the book community extends beyond genre boundaries, and we've certainly lost a talented storyteller. The release calendar has slowed down as the holidays approach, but there are still a few new and notables hitting shelves like The Red Scare by Con Lahane. This historical mystery is set in 1950s New York and follows a bartender turned amateur sleuth investigating a murder that pulls him into the McCarthy-era paranoia. Lahane has a gift for period detail and the kind of atmosphere that makes you feel the cigarette smoke and political tension. If you enjoy historical mysteries with a noir sensibility, this one's worth checking out. The Quiet Mother by Arnaldur Indridason. Not sure why I torture myself with these Nordic author names every episode. This third detective Conrad novel from Iceland's master of noir is about a dying woman that asks Conrad to find the child she gave up 50 years ago. He refuses, then she's murdered. Guilt-driven, Conrad pursues the truth, uncovering connections to his own father's unsolved murder. As usual, atmospheric, emotionally complex, and exactly what you know you are getting from Indridesen. Cape Fever by Nadia Davids, a gothic psychological thriller set in 1920s colonial South Africa. Muslim maid Soraya takes a job with an eccentric British widow whose beautiful, decaying home harbors spirits and secrets. When the widow offers to write letters to Soraya's fiancé, their strange ritual becomes increasingly sinister. This one reminds me of Sylvia Mariano Garcia meets Daffy du Maurier, atmospheric and unsettling. Finally, Murder in Manhattan by Julie Mulhern, a jazz mystery featuring nightlife columnist Freddie Archer, who parties with Dorothy Parker and the Fitzgeralds in 1925 Manhattan. When a man from her column is murdered, she ignores police warnings and investigates, of course. Snappy dialogue, Prohibition-era glamour, and a protagonist with serious moxie, perfect for fans of witty historical mysteries. All right, let's talk about something that's probably on a lot of your minds right now: holiday gift giving, and specifically, gifting books to the mystery and thriller readers in your life. Here's the thing. I genuinely believe that one of the best ways to tell someone you're thinking of them, that they matter to you, is to give them a book. Not just any book, but the right book. A book that says, I know you, I understand what you love, and I found something I think you'll really like. But that's also the challenge, right? Walk into a bookstore during the holidays and you're faced with thousands of options. How do you know what to choose? Well, I put together a quick guide on my website, link in the show notes, but let me walk you through the basic strategy. First, you need to figure out what kind of reader you're shopping for. Are they the purist? These readers have strong opinions about what real crime fiction is. They read the classics. They have favorite subgenres, and they're suspicious of trends. For them, you want to go with literary mysteries, award winners, or books from established masters of the craft. Think Tana French, William Kent Kruger, or someone like Mick Herron, who's both popular and critically acclaimed. How about the speed reader? These folks tear through books. They're not precious about literature. They want entertainment, and they want it fast. Domestic thrillers, police procedurals, anything with short chapters and propulsive plotting. Authors here might be like Freida McFadden, Riley Sager, or Alex North. Bonus points if you gift them a series starter. That's like giving them 5 books in one package. The Sophisticate. They read crime fiction, but they also read literary fiction, nonfiction, essays. They want mystery novels that do something more, examine society, play with structure, offer beautiful prose. For them, try Louise Penny, Kate Atkinson, or somebody like Sylvia Moreno Garcia, whose work is more genre-bending. Next, the genre tourist. These are casual readers who occasionally dip into mysteries but don't live in the genre. They need accessible entry points, preferably something with buzz or name recognition. Think the Thursday Murder Club series, anything by Ruth Ware, or books that have been adapted into popular shows. Finally, the collector. They want special editions, signed copies, and first editions. These readers care about books as physical objects. For them, you're looking at bookstore events, pre-orders of anticipated releases, or beautiful editions from publishers like Folio Society. Moving beyond the reader type, think about context. Match the book to the moments. Are you gifting for a potential vacation? Go with something absorbing but not too heavy, beach reads, cozies, or page turners that don't require deep concentration. Thinking about the long winter ahead? This is when you can gift those dense, atmospheric Nordic noirs or sprawling historical mysteries. How about somebody going through a rough time? Think comfort reads, again, cozy mysteries, or a beloved series entry, or rereads of favorite authors in a special edition. How about somebody who's adventurous? International crime fiction, translations, authors from different countries who bring fresh perspectives. Here are a few specific recommendations. For someone new to the genre, The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, or maybe The Woman in the Library by Solare Gentile. For the hard-boiled fan, anything by S.A. Cosby or Attica Locke is going to do the trick. For the cozy lover, you have The Thursday Murder Club, but also look at Louise Penny's Still Life, the first Gamache novel, or Anthony Horowitz's Magpie Murders. For the thriller junkie, try Liz Moore's Long Bright River or The Plot by Jean Hamp Corlitz. For the horror-adjacent reader, there's Stephen Graham Jones, Alma Katsu, or Jennifer McMahon. Here's a little extra tip, a personal touch, the secret weapon. Insert a note inside. Explain why you chose this book for them. This reminded me of that trip we took, or I thought you'd love the main character, or I couldn't put this down and immediately thought of you. That transforms a book from just another gift into something personal, something that says you paid attention. And honestly, if you give someone a book they don't love, that's okay too. Don't apologize. Reading tastes are subjective. What matters is the thought behind it, the gesture of saying, I know you love reading, and I wanted to be part of that experience for you. I've got a more detailed breakdown on my website with specific titles organized by reader type. Check out the show notes for the link, but the core principle is simple. The best book gifts are the ones that show you know the person, not just the bestseller list. Okay, let's wrap things up with what I'm reading and watching. Right now I'm reading Black Summer by M.W. Craven, which won the 2019 Gold Dagger Award. It's the second Washington Poe mystery, and here's something a little unusual for me. I actually haven't read the first Poe book. I came to Craven through his more recent Ben Koenig series, and when I saw Black Summer was available on Libby, I just grabbed it. Sometimes you gotta take what you can get from the library queue, right? But I'm really enjoying it so far. Full disclosure, I'm not a huge fan of prologues in general. They often feel like sort of unnecessary throat clearing before the real story begins. But here, once chapter 1 hits, Craven sets an absolute killer hook. The writing is sharp, the mystery immediately compelling, the characterizations are interesting and believable. I am completely invested in Poe as a character so far and looking forward to seeing where this ends up. I also recently picked up David Baldacci's Nash Falls, his latest from the library, and I'm doing something a little different. I'm tag teaming between reading the physical book and listening to the audiobook on Spotify. Sometimes I find that Baldacci's prose works really well in audio but can feel a bit flat on the page. This dual approach is helping me build momentum until I'm fully locked into the story. Because here's the thing about Baldacci, he almost always delivers on plot. The man knows how to construct a thriller. On the TV front, I'm continuing with Pluribus. Still not entirely sure, nor am I sure that anybody else really knows where this is going, but I trust Gilligan enough to stick with it. The man has definitely earned that much. And this weekend, I'm looking forward to Knives Out 3 hitting Netflix. I'm ready for Daniel Craig to channel his inner Benoit Blanc again and hopefully deliver another gleefully entertaining whodunit. All right, that's it for this episode. Let me leave you with this week's question. What's the best mystery or thriller you've ever received as a gift? Or conversely, what's the best one you think you've given to someone else? I'm curious if there are any books out there that have become gift-giving legends in your circles, the ones you keep coming back to when you want to share the genre with someone. Drop me a line with your thoughts and maybe some recommendations for books I missed. You can email me, Mike at MikeDonahueBooks.com, or find me on Blue Sky at Mike D Mystery, or Instagram or Facebook at Mike Donohue Books. This has been Unreliable Sources. I'm Mike Donohue. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay sharp, follow the clues, and don't trust anyone who skips to the end.